Hi everybody. So today we have a Dendrobium polysema, and I've already taken this out of its pot, and it's a very vigorous plant. It was actually overgrowing its pot, and you can see the new lead coming out. So I have a lot of thoughts on this plant. I really like it. I think as a plant it's really cool. It's a very beautiful plant, but the um, the flowers are haven't shown yet. I've seen pictures of it. It's potentially a really awesome plant that is going to get really big. And what I want to do with this plant, I just envision this 5 or 10 years down the line as being just an enormous overgrown, not overgrown, but just a specimen plant with flowers going crazy. So I've actually been debating with this exact plant. I've been debating for probably 4 weeks on how to pot this. I look at it every day. I pick it up. I examine it. So I can't decide. So Swan's going to decide for me. So what I want to do is go through the choices. So if you can pan back. Okay. So basically, what I have here are the choices that I have available to pot this plant into, and I just want to go through kind of the benefits of each one. So first is a square plastic or net or orchid pot, vanda pot sometimes they're called. I like these quite a bit for um, being something that's very supportive of a creeping habit. So for smaller miniatures that I want to turn into specimens, I might put them in this. With a plant like this, if I planted that in here, it's going to completely overgrow this, or that's the intention. One of my fears is that it would turn into a specimen, and let's say I put it in here like this, and eventually it grows. So I put it in like that. The new lead is right there going in that direction. So eventually it's going to grow over here, and I just fear that it would become lopsided in one direction. That's one of my fears there. So this one is great because it really locks the plant and it's not going anywhere. You've got the new lead again, so it's sort of the same issue as the flat one. There's a little bit less room to grow in this, which is actually potentially a good thing for dendrobiums because they like constricted, or they like to be in tight quarters. But this one is very supportive. You can see just sitting in here. This is not going anywhere. I put a little bit of moss in there or something. So very similar to the first choice. So now this one is just obviously just a bigger version. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but if we put that in there like that, it's got a lot of room to grow within the basket before it breaks out of the constraints. So I think one benefit of this potentially is within, let's say, 3 years, it's completely filled this pot up. Already in 3 years, it would look pretty good and hopefully be contained within the pot. A standard black plastic pot. The good thing with this is it would keep the roots a little bit more constrained for a while, but it's a pot, and I'm not detracting from it. I just don't think it needs a ton of explanation. Well, and I guess maybe the explanation can come with the ceramic pot. So this is an unglazed clay pot, and take the price tag off. So with something like this, I think orchids like this a lot. You don't have to put mix in here. At least I don't really put mix in because the pot itself holds moisture. So I think it would be fairly happy in there, but it would be on the ground. And as it turned into a big fat plant, I fear it may get tangled up in the roots may get tangled up in the ground or whatever. Whereas something like this, the roots can grow down like 5-6 feet, whatever. The last choice I have is mounting it. So I have here a fairly long mount. I would put that on. So there's the new growth right there. I want to put that kind of against the wood, so I would mount it like that. And basically I would mount it just like that. And so eventually it would start to encircle this and encircle the whole thing, and I would hope within a few years you just have this hanging and it would just be a big ball of plant. So what's your final choice between all those?
I'm leaning towards either this guy or the mount, because I think because the plant is so top heavy, this would have a slightly better center of gravity than the two shorter pots.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, so otherwise, not, yeah, that I'm right, but otherwise, with the mounting, it keeps with it being so wet here, it keeps the roots from getting too wet or rotted. It just looks nice when it's on a mount. And then I guess I don't know what the rate of growth is if this is going to be too small really soon. But yeah, otherwise, because I like this in terms of the size and in terms of the potential. But again, it's because it's lower, the top heaviness just might be an issue.
Which one?
I say go for the mount, just because you have the room, you have the mount,
Yeah.
so why not?
As I went through this, I was really hoping you were going to say that. Okay, so I'm going to mount this. I'm not going to put, or should I put some moss on it?
I don't think so.
Typically, so just for those of you that are watching one of our first orchid videos, we get about 145 inches of rain a year here. It's one of the rainiest places in the world, so it rains literally every day. So you don't really need to add any more moisture. Alright, I'm just going to take my mount. This is a big one. So here, so on this side. I'm going to take my fishing line. So I'm holding that really firmly on there. And I'm just going to start twisting. I'm going to do a whole bunch. I want to get that entire root adhered. That root will do some good things pretty soon, I hope. And now because this is such a big plant with such a healthy, strong root system, I'm giving quite a bit of force as I wrap this. Because the worst thing that can happen when you mount an orchid is that it starts to slip. Sorry, that the plant itself starts to fall forward. And then it falls off the mount and it's only hanging on by the roots. So that's almost overkill, but I really want this plant to do well. Alright, so that's on there. Looks good. It's not going anywhere at all. Last couple of steps. If you want to know how to mount these, I have a few videos on how to mount orchids. I also don't have all my tools out here. I'm going to cut this part out. And I hope you subscribe and follow, because I'm going to hopefully show videos of this for years. Thank you.